So, hello. Thought I would make a little MT09 2022 review for those guys that are thinking about maybe buying one of those, or maybe some of you have one of those and would try to get some tips from me, or maybe you could give me some tips on things to do or something. You could just give me a comment, but well, here we have the blue MT09 2022. Did change a little bit in the color from the 2021 version. Otherwise, it's the same as the 2021. I thought I'd just talk a little bit about this bike, how it feels to me, and not the regular stuff that you see with everything they made with the bike since the last generation, how they changed the engine and all that stuff. The engine, for sure, on this one is the selling point, the big selling point. I totally love it. Well, as you can see, it's the blue one. I like this one better than the SP version. That's why I got this one, and I don't think the front forks makes such a big difference. And that's the only thing you get on the SP version, so I didn't think it was quite worth it. So I got this one. A little bit the modification I did to it. Of course, the tail tidy, it's a must. And then we have the bar and mirrors. Looks better, and I see a lot better what's behind me with those. And then, of course, I put on the Dominator full system, and this one is a very good one in my opinion. It's quite cheap. It's about 500 euros here in Sweden. It's a company called Swedish Race Parts that distributes this one, and it sounds absolutely amazing. I now put a little DB killer in it, and still it sounds amazing to me. I can pull the DB killer out, but then it's just pure hooligan, and it's a little bit too much. Anyways, 500 euro, very easy to install, and they come with instructions how to put the lambda sensor and stuff like that. And that's about everything I did to it. Of course, I bought the comfort seat, mostly because it looks better. I think it's a little bit softer, but the original was pretty soft as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna put you guys up here, and so you can see something. We're gonna take a little bit of a ride here, and I'm just gonna tell you how this bike is to ride, and I'm gonna try and compare it to my previous bike, which was a MT10, so the bigger brother MT10, which makes my decision kind of a downgrade, some would say. But in my opinion, it's what you want to use the bike for that makes that decision for me. And I also tried the previous generation of the MT09, and where I found that model up until 2021 was to me a little bit lacking in power. That was while I was riding the MT10, so when I jumped on the original MT09 second generation, it felt like I could give it all that I had, and the bike couldn't give me anything more, or no challenge. But when I tried this one, I didn't try the 2021 model because I was riding my MT10 then, but I finally tried the 2022 model of the MT09, and when I sat on it, it just felt like this bike is it is for me. I felt it right away, and when I pulled the gas, I felt that they had given it so much more power that it was more than I could handle. So that's what I wanted. I wanted the bike to give me a little bit of a challenge, and if I put it to full gas, I want to feel like, wow, this is really something. That's what I felt with the MT10. But when I sat down on this bike, they also improved the seat, because the previous generation had a sloping forward seat, and it didn't have this little tip on the seat, and it made my crouch go into the tank all the time when I tried it, and that felt very uncomfortable. So that was the two biggest issues that I had with the old generation of the MT09. But now with this generation, both of those are gone, and it has the power that I feel is sufficient for what I'm using the bike for. I'm not going to any racetracks. I'm just riding it in the twisties, riding it with buddies, with my friends. I'm not commuting on it. That's the big difference between this one and the MT10. The MT10 is absolutely fantastic on the highway. I had a screen on it, and I could go touring on the highway, and it's totally stable, and it's so fast on the highway, of course, with the R1 engine. This one, the only thing I can maybe say it's a little bit negative, it's when you try and reach those higher speeds on the highway. I think it's because it's so upright, the position is so comfortable, you're so upright, there's no wind protection. At least I'm gonna put a screen on and see if it helps, but while I have this small little fly screen, it pushes all the wind to my chest, and when I pull the gas and try to go a little bit faster, it kind of makes me pull in the handlebar too much. So it's very tight between your legs, so you have to squeeze it really hard with your legs to let go of the handlebar, so you don't pull the handlebar too much, because if you pull the handlebar, it's gonna start wobble. That's the only thing I feel with this bike. When you reach, it's about at maybe 210 kilometers an hour, about that speed. When you're pulling the gas and reaching that speed, it starts to affect you with the wind in the chest and pull you backwards. So you have to lean quite much forward and put some pressure down towards the front tire, and it's a little bit better, but it's not even comparable with the MT10, which also has the upright seating position. You can just pull and pull and pull, and it's gonna go straight forward like a truck. It's not gonna wobble or do anything. Of course, that also has to do with this bike being much lighter, much skinnier, and yeah, that's what makes this bike good in the little bit lower speeds and in the twisty roads like this. It's so fluid. It's so easy to turn in. You just look where you want to go, and it goes. So combined with this new engine, and of course when I put the exhaust system on, I did an ECU flash, and I also had a step 2 fuel map, which I can highly recommend because it opens up the fuel. When you turn the throttle, it's gonna give you 100%. So it wakes the engine up a lot, I think, if I compare it to before. And also the flash makes it so much smoother, especially in the lower RPMs, like I am now in 6th gear. I can just turn the throttle, no problem at all. Even when I go like in 2nd gear, I can go really slow with no gas. It's not gonna be any bumps or jiggering or nothing. It's so smooth since I made the ECU flash. So I highly recommend that. It has like 120 horsepower, I think. That's standard. And you can really feel it going to the back wheel when you take away the exhaust and the catalyst and you do the ECU flash. So that's how I feel riding this bike, and a little bit compared to the old generation. The old generation MT09, actually, I think the headlights, of course, they look better. They did. This one, I think I had a lot of good compliments, people saying it looks really nice. I had a hard time with it when I first saw them, but with this little fly screen on, I think it looks okay, and the rest of the bike looks absolutely amazing. And I love the tank on it, especially the tank, the wide tank over your legs. You can put your legs under the tank, so it feels like I'm sitting inside of the bike. I could also compare it a little bit with the Z900, which is the highest competitor in this segment. Most of my riding buddies have Z900s or CH2s and so on. It's a totally different experience to ride a Z900 and ride the MT09. You have to ride it to feel the difference, but the Z900, it wants to go fast in a straight line, and with the 4 cylinders it's gonna rev a little bit higher, but it's not gonna have the same sound as this one. But you're much more leaned forward on the Z900, and your foot pegs are a little bit higher, and you're sitting a little bit lower, so it's a little bit of a more sporty position. That's why it also keeps such a straight line in the high speed. Yeah, so that was a little bit of what I was trying to talk about with this bike at this moment. I've had this bike for maybe a month now. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more videos with maybe some other accessories I'm gonna put on it and stuff like that. Maybe do some video vlogs, and please write a comment if you have a question or something you want to share with me about this bike or another bike. Maybe your bike is better. Please let me know. I'm gonna stop here, and I will see you later. Thanks, bye.